Hello, friends. Today's topic is how to help a child backward in mathematics. See, here I'm definitely not going to speak about some tricks and all. We are basically trying to help a child who is much backward in mathematics. We'll see one by one. So, here basically, when we speak about backwardness, possibly there are two types of backwardness. One is general backwardness, and one is particular backwardness. General backwardness means the child is backward in almost overall, means if the child is studying 6 subject, definitely the child is not at all performing anything in all 6 subject. So it is considered as a general backwardness, and it may be inherited, and the IQ of the child might be very low from 50 to 70, and the removal of this backwardness is a joint responsibility of the teachers together. A team of teachers working together may help to remove this kind of backwardness, and the child should be guided sympathetically with love in this particular case. And the particular backwardness, there might be one single cause. Because of that particular reason, the child may not be performing very well, backward in mathematics but fairly good in some other subject. See, try to understand, when a child goes to school, there are 6 subject, and rest 4 or 5 subject the child is performing really well except mathematics. In this particular case, the teacher has some hopes that the child may perform well because the child is performing good in some other subject, and this can be removed because being intelligent in other subject is a hopeful sign for the teacher, and his achievement in other subject is a source of confidence also to the teacher. And this backwardness is a sole concern of the mathematics. If the child is not performing very well in mathematics and the rest all subject it is performing well, here the mathematics teacher can definitely do something about this. In the case of acute cases, maybe have to be treated in separate classes, whereas the border cases means average performing students can be helped in the classroom itself. And before adopting any means to remove the backwardness of the child, the teacher must be clear about its causes. Teacher should be very clear that due to what particular reason the child is not performing well in mathematics. It may be physical cause, it may be mental cause, it may be distaste for the subject, doubts about the fundamentals, influence at home. We'll see one by one. The physical cause. Sometimes it so happens that the child may have a poor eyesight, may not be able to see the blackboard, and difficulty in hearing organ may not be working properly, or some stomach trouble or something like this. There might be many causes, headache, and these causes may not allow the child to concentrate on the studies, whereas mathematics need full concentration. As you know that mathematics is one such subject where the child need to concentrate 100%, but if he has some physical disability, then definitely the child may not be able to concentrate. In this particular case, the remedy is very simple. The mathematics teacher has to refer the child to the school doctor if they have such provision, or definitely can inform to the parents immediately about the problem. And the next one, in the cases, if the case is very serious, that is if there is some physical deficiency which is very serious, and the child may be definitely referred to the school of physically handicapped children. And the next very important cause might be, that is mental causes. Most of the time it is very difficult to identify this particular cause by any teacher, but experience will definitely help over here. That is a mental ailment, mental dissatisfaction, and the domestic problem, and the sense of insecurity, inferiority complex, a dominant interest in something else. The simple cases can be tackled through counseling by the teacher. If it is very minor, then definitely it can be tackled by the teacher, and if it is very complicated cases, it has to be passed on to the psychologist for thorough diagnosis and treatment And in the case of mental problem, sometimes through the experience of the teacher you can definitely identify, and these cases can be solved with the love, sympathy and preparedness to help. And the next one is distaste for the subject. Distaste means dislike for the subject. There are two possibility, that one is naturally they don't like the particular subject. See, it is not necessary when you have 6 subject the child has to like all 6 subject. Sometimes it so happen that the naturally some students don't like mathematics, and it may be acquired also. We'll see one by one. If it is inborn, then the teacher's effort may go waste. Means if the child don't like mathematics subject from the beginning, means from its very first day of its education, it don't like the particular subject, and here the teachers may not help to great extent to that particular child. And if it is acquired one, it may be the teacher's fault when he fails to develop a feeling of attachment. I mean to say that there is a direct relation between the child's like for the subject and respect and love for the teacher. See, the child and the teacher, they should have a very good relation, love and respect for each other. If their relation is not good, and definitely it will indirectly affect the subject also. When the child don't like the teacher, definitely it will not like even the subject also. Heaviness of the syllabus, toughness of the subject, difficulty of its problems also tend to produce this distaste. Sometimes it so happen that the concept itself is very heavy and the child may not take it, and distaste for the subject may take place. And the teacher's patience and persistence plays a big role in this particular situation. The teacher has to clearly identify that what exactly is going on in the classroom, and the teacher should not be in a hurry to pronounce a case as hopeless or backward. See, most of the time it so happens that the teacher has some kind of expectation from the child, and when the child fails to meet that particular expectation of the teacher, and the teacher will be in a hurry to announce that this child is hopeless, this child is not performing, this child is backward. And if the child fails to satisfy him once, the teacher should not get disappointed. This is very important. You should never allow the idea once backward is always backward. Yeah, the teacher's career, that the teacher's profession is a great profession where you need lots of patience, and you should not declare directly any particular child is hopeless or backward. And you need to give some time, you need to put a great effort to bring up the best of that particular child. And the doubts about the fundamentals, yeah, this happens most of the time. See, when the child starts mathematics learning from first standard, second standard, third standard, and it will go, and you might have observed one thing in our education system is when you pass on from one class to other class, one class to other class, as you go to higher classes, the subject will get more and more tough and tougher. And you might have observed one thing, especially in the case of mathematics, what you study in first standard, second standard, third standard, those are the basics you are studying, and on the basis of these basics, the higher classes syllabus will be, right? For example, you may be learning addition, subtraction, multiplication when you are in your first, second standard, third standard. And when you go to SSLC or PUC, for that matter, when you go for 11th or 12th standard, possibly these basics are the very fundamental things over there. And especially in our education system, you know that when you are in first or second standard, no much importance is given for these topics what the child is studying. But basically when it goes to 11th or 12th standard, these basics are very, very important. So the doubts in the fundamental will really create a more and more problem. The doubts about the fundamentals of the child will definitely hinder the progress of that particular child. And the teacher should be very careful while teaching these fundamentals. He should not hesitate to teach them over and over again. means the fundamental has to be taught again and again to that particular child. Only clear understanding of these fundamentals can be build a sound foundation for mathematical learning. And influence of home. The parents unintentionally give some negative suggestion to the child. If you observe carefully, sometimes they say that they never liked the mathematics, they were not able to pass in it, and the failure in mathematics has been a tradition of their family, and this create a negative effect on the child's attainment in the subject, and even child try to adapt the system. What their parents has followed. Definitely if you say negative things to the child, and child will definitely try to copy the same. And the teacher's unbalanced behavior. If the teacher is very lenient, it may lead to inattention and non-seriousness by the child. And if he is very strict and gives very heavy punishment unsparingly, some of the feeble-minded students get disheartened and discouraged. And the teacher should never forget that his behavior is very important in case of teaching. The change of a school, of a change of a teacher, change of a school or a change of a teacher may not suit sometimes to that particular child. If change of school is unavoidable, the parent should take extra care until that particular child adjusts to the new environment. And the bad reputation of the teacher also matters. If the child comes to know that there is no good reputation for the teacher, and the child may not give more importance to the words of the teacher must earn respect and reputation, and he should be a source of inspiration to almost all the child. And the teacher should not stick to the same old methods. Students like newness. I mean to say that from day one until the last academic year, last day, you should not adopt only one single method, which will be definitely boring to the child. You should always keep on inventing something new ideas to teach the child. And the teacher should be always prepared to adjust his method to the learner's likes. You may have to develop extra time and attention to lagging students, and the dedication for the slow learners matters a lot, especially in case of mathematics. The intelligent may pick up after solving only one problem. The slow learners may need 2 to 3 problems to understand, and the teacher should be aware of this. And the child may not get sufficient time for homework. Parent need to take extra care of it. Sometimes the child has a difficulty at home, and the child may not be able to work efficiently at home, and it may not practice each and everything what is taught in a school. In this case, the parent need to take extra care of that particular child. And if the child remains unavoidable, irregular, or absent for a very long time, there are chances of his falling prey to the backwardness. And the defective at handwriting and geometrical construction also a matter of concern. See, sometimes it so happens that under unavoidable reason, means a sickness might be, the child may not be able to go continuously to the school. In this particular case, the teacher has to take extra care to teach the topic what is missed in his absence, and definitely you can improve the situation under these particular cases. And I hope that we have discussed the general backwardness and the particular causes for the backwardness in case of mathematics. And I hope that definitely you can help the child in almost all the angle. See, before you give solution to any particular problem, first we need to identify what exactly the problem of that particular child. That's what here we are giving more stress on this particular video. And thank you very much, and I hope this video was definitely helpful to you, for both the teacher as well as parents. Thank you. Bye bye.